It's too hot to fly helicopters, and that's not saving people. We're talking about the extreme temperatures across the United States that are grounding emergency helicopters. Matthew Gault reports 6 motorcyclists rode to Death Valley National Park July 6, only 5 came out. Temperatures reached 128 degrees Fahrenheit in California. That's a low oven. The cyclists face extreme heat exposure and sent one was a victim and another sent to local hospital, according to National Park Services. Why would they go out doing whatever they were doing in such extremely hot weather? I mean, they're asking for trouble. When there's a medical emergency like this, helicopters are typically dispatched to get people to hospital. However, the extreme heat made it impossible for helicopters to fly. The next day, an emergency helicopter pilot in Stanford, California, had to cancel a flight because the tarmac near a patient was so hot for him to land. You know what happens when, obviously, the tarmac out of tar in the hot weather? You just sink. The soles of your shoes get stuck in the tar. So that you can't walk on it. Next day, the emergency helicopter at Stanford, California, canceled the flight because the tarmac near a patient was too hot for him to land. As reported by the Washington Post on Wednesday, the pilot said he'd never seen temperatures this bad in his 27-year career. Extreme heat, as many across the U.S. are experiencing this summer, can cause computer and mechanical systems on board helicopters to overheat and malfunction. But it's not just a mechanical issue, as air pressure is also a factor. Air expands when it's too hot and contracts when it's cold. As it gets hotter outside, air pressure plummets. The air literally gets thin, which means that spinning helicopter blades have less air to cut through, and it's harder for them to achieve lift. That makes it dangerous and sometimes impossible to fly. The heat also makes commercial air travel more dangerous. Increased temperatures create more turbulence, which can lead to injury or death. Thermal-induced turbulence is so common and so well known among commercial pilots that many prefer to fly early in the morning when the sun has not yet cooked the planet and created pockets of plane-shaking nightmare air. And this is all getting worse thanks to the climate change, and a 2023 study in Advances in Atmospheric Sciences studied historical data about clean air turbulence, CAT, from 1979 to 2020. CAT is a kind of turbulence that does not have a clear visual indicator like clouds or a storm. The study found that severe or greater CAT had become 55% more frequent from 1979 to 2020, and it will continue to get worse. And it read, these findings suggest that climate model simulations may underestimate future CAT increases. Every summer in recent memory has been hotter than the last, with successive waves of heat domes getting record temperatures across the U.S. Every year it gets a little harder and a little more dangerous to live thanks to man-made climate change. And this is on Gizmodo by Matthew Gault. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.